Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
One of my favourite comedians is Australian Monty Franklin. He has taken America by storm. He's about to do his Yeah Nah show back here in Australia. Here is some of Monty in the States.
Do you know, in America, they do not sing hip hip hooray at the end of Happy Birthday. Did you know we were the only people who did that? Do you know how f***ing embarrassing it is? I was at a table of people I didn't even know that well, and they finish Happy Birthday, and I just go, hip hip! And one of them goes, what'd you do that for? And I went, in Australia, one person yells out hip hip, and then everyone yells hooray, and we do that 3 times. And they went, why do you do that? And I went, I don't know.
I think we beeped the wrong bit of that word there. Kept the F in and left the rest.
What a potty mouth. What was that?
He's out of control, this guy.
I love that, though. It never occurred to me that we're the only people that do that.
Isn't it so strange? I was in Zurich and they do a different thing. They go like, hurgly, gurgly, blah, like they've got a different thing. But I've done the hip hip like in America, like full on in front of people I didn't know, and they're all just staring at me and I'm like, oh, that doesn't usually happen. Happy Birthday goes for 45 minutes in Australia.
Yeah, it does.
You do that and then someone goes, why was he born so...
Yeah.
Like it's a whole song and dance.
And that's because Gemini Rai here, his brother, what does he do? He
Oh, yeah. So he'll go hip, hip, and we'll go hooray, hip, hip, hooray. And then everyone's expecting the third one, but then he just doesn't do it.
Because he just wants to tease.
Yeah.
I like him.
Because you're the band leader. When you start the hip hip, it's like those people that yell out Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oh, yeah.
You've suddenly become your own band leader.
But there's a hierarchy to who can initiate hip hip, isn't there?
True.
If you have to be close to whoever's birthday it is. If you don't know the person, you can't jump in with the hip hip. That's not your role. But I did that in America because I panicked. There was too much time in between when Happy Birthday finished and when Hip Hip should have started. So I looked around the table. I went, I'm going for it. And I went, Hip Hip! And then I just looked like an insane person.
What are some of the other things that particularly Americans find extraordinary about us that we're not even aware we're the only ones that do?
Well, you know, in America they don't have Christmas bonbons. And that just means they don't have Christmas hats. So this is a very normal thing for us at the Christmas table. But the funny thing is I brought an American girlfriend over years ago for her first Australian Christmas. Imagine what she must have thought, having never seen this tradition before in her life, and no one says anything about it. Everyone just quietly puts on their paper crowns and starts eating food, and she's looking around going, what is wrong with these lunatics? Multicoloured paper mache crowns, and everyone yells at someone who doesn't put their hat on, like, Gary, put your hat on. You're embarrassing the American girl.
Yeah.
And then tell us the joke, and I want to see the toy. I'm an adult, and I want to see what toy you got in your thing.
Yeah.
But that's so common for us. But,
it is.
well, they do it in England. It must be a Commonwealth thing.
And with you now bringing your show to Australia, how do you make that material work back for Australians?
But that only works for Australians. I can't talk about that stuff in America because they don't know about it.
But are you able to say to them, here's another way we're weird?
Oh, yeah. I love coming back to Australia and pointing out, did you know the rest of the world, we don't do this? Do you want to know something funny I did the other day? So I was at a place called Mammoth Mountain in California, and there was all these people crowded around a cave area. And I said to a guy, what's going on in there? And he looked at me and went, there's a bear in there. Now, you know exactly what I said to him. I'm a grown man. I looked him in the face and I went, and a chair as well. And he just stared at me because they don't know what that means.
No powers.
And I look like an insane person on the mountain. And he's like, what kind of terrible detective does he think I am?
Because we're a weird mob. I was talking to a German friend of mine, and when she came over here, I said, what do you find about Australia? And she said, you never follow through with anything. If you say, let's catch up and have a barbecue,
They don't mean
the
it.
Germans believe that. And they diarise.
The Germans
it.
are so efficient.
Yeah,
They're
so
like, right, barbecue on the 12th.
When is this happening?
Or if you say, why don't you stay with us when you come over? You never mean it. No. And then this stranger looks you up and expects to stay at your house.
They're there with their bags and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I just said that to be nice.
There's no more Australian term than yeah, nah. That's a perfect name for your tour.
Isn't it great? Telling people from overseas that yeah, nah means no and nah, yeah means yes. It's very confusing. Yeah. But I called it the yeah, nah, which is no, which it should be more positive. But that rolls off the tongue better, yeah, nah. And that's said more, I would say, than nah, yeah. Like, yeah, nah. I love it. I love the yeah, nah, yeah. And it's just whatever you finish on is what you can actually just string a bunch together. Like if someone said to you, oh, are you coming, you're not bailing on the trip this weekend. You're like, nah. Yeah.
Yeah. You've toured with some big names. I didn't realize that you opened for Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And what's that like? Because I look at Joe Rogan because I remember him when he was on that show, News Radio.
Yeah, News Radio.
And then he did that Fear Factor show.
Yeah.
And then I always listen to his podcast, and he just sort of makes up a lot of stuff. But I saw little bits of the Trump interview thing.
Yeah, me too.
It's quite interesting how he just gets things out of people.
He's one of the loveliest people I've ever met. Very down to earth guy. He loves comedians. He's been a very great mentor and a friend to me. So when I opened for him, he does stadiums. We did the United Center in Chicago, which is where the Chicago Bulls played. So our green room was the Chicago Bulls locker room, and it was me, him, and Andrew Santino sitting next to Michael Jordan's embossed locker that's there.
Wow.
And we're just sitting there going, what are we doing? There's 20,000 people out there listening to our silly jokes, and we're sitting next to Michael Jordan's locker. So these are some of the crazy things that you get to do, in America, and with what I've been doing, which is so awesome.
But a big stadium like that, is that harder than a small club, or is it once the titter of laughter starts in the crowd, then you've got a big titter?
It's just very different. It's you need to think about your pacing, and obviously with my accent, I have to slow right down for many places I go in America, and I can't use too much slang. Americans don't understand what petrol means. They say gas and they don't understand anything else. Wow. So if you say, petrol station, they're like, what is that? And you're like, oh, okay, gas station, calm down.
There must have been a big learning curve for you when you first started performing in the States, where you think, why aren't they understanding what I'm saying? Who knew they don't know petrol?
12 years, and that's why I'm making these silly videos on my Instagram, because every day I find something that I'm like, why don't you know what that is?
Yes.
And when you're in America, do you feel that it's going to be okay? Like with this election at the moment, and we spoke to Rob Schneider about this, and he said on the internet it looks like it's nuts, but when you're there, it's not nuts.
No, it's not at all. It's like, look, if you go to America, all they see about Australia is Shark Week and stuff they've put on, and they just think everything is going to kill you, which to some degree is true, but it's not what it's like, right? So that's the same polarization of what we're getting from America. If you're in California or New York, it's pretty heated right now and everyone's discussing about it. But if you're in the middle of the country in Dayton, Ohio, honestly, they're just really good people that want to live their lives, and they got different lives than us, and they want to have their guns and whatever, but they've got their reasons for it. And I actually, that's the heart of America, is in the middle of the country, and they're not too fussed either way, to be honest. They just want to be good people and live their lives, which is interesting from our vantage point, thinking that everyone's going crazy over there.
Yeah,
they're not.
Interesting to hear.
Yeah,
they're all sitting there wondering what petrol is.
Yeah, they're wondering.
What is this?
What is this?
What?
What is this hip parade? Petrol.
But we have great with the bottle-o,
I know.
things like that.
I love it.
The Americans love bottle-o. You say bottle-o, and they go, what? What's the bottle-o?
Smoko, bottle-o.
Yeah.
Put an O on anything.
Smoko. Yeah, you chuck O on anything. I like saying, oi, let's go to the bottle-o and go skull tinnies in the back of my ute. And I say that to someone and they go, what just happened? And I go, don't worry about it.
Where is this?
It's a pretty bogan thing for me to say, but pretty fun.
Monty, it's great to talk to you. Get your tickets to see Monty now at montyfranklin.com. Thank you for coming in.
No worries. Thanks a lot for having me. Yeah, Enmore Theatre, November 7. I'm looking forward to this. Is one of the best theatres in the world. It's so awesome that I'm coming back to Australia to do these shows.
It's pretty funny. You stand up on that stage and boom.
I know.
I've been naked on that stage.
Have you really?
Like a sanctioned event. It wasn't I just ran up.
No.
I might get naked.
Actually, he was doing the full Monty. You could be the full Monty Franklin.
We go.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Encore performance.
Your opening act.
Finally.